We know that elementary children want to know so much that it's impossible to contain that all in the classroom. And it's also important to remember that they do need concrete experience with things before they explore more abstractly. So, for example, if they're learning about leaves, they need to get out and see leaves and see how leaves function in nature. And so Montessori saw these two things: the deep thirst for knowledge that we can't possibly fill the classroom with enough, and this need for sensorial experience. And her response was to offer the children something we call going out, where they can go out of the classroom based on their own interests and needs to find out more. A going out is not a field trip. Certainly, it is a trip in the field in that very basic sense. But a field trip is generally planned by adults and executed by adults, and the whole class has to come along. In a going out, it comes from the children's own interests based on the research they've been doing or a lesson they've gotten. And we help the children to be able to plan and execute this trip on their own. And because it comes from their interest, it's going to be a smaller group of children who are leaving to explore volcanoes at the Natural History Museum, or impressionist paintings at the art museum. These are the types of outings that we can offer to the children that will further their knowledge and that sensorial experience. One important aspect to remember about going out as well is that the children are free to plan these kinds of trips whenever they wish. And so it's not something that is just saved for special occasions, but instead that the children can recognize they have a need and they can fulfill it. And this is really how going out helps to support children's self-construction. During World War II, Dr. Montessori and her son Mario were interned in India, and they spent some time working with elementary children while they were there. And what they saw was how important it was to not simply introduce ideas in the classroom, that they really wanted the children to see those ideas out in reality. And so if they were exploring the work of water, they'd take a little ramble to visit a stream and see the work of water in action. And it's from this sort of spontaneous outing that they were doing in their work in India that going out really emerged. When the children go out, they get to experience and practice interaction with broader society. So yes, they're driven to go out based on an interest or a need, but as they go out, they have this experience of having to talk to other people in the place of business where they're going at the Natural History Museum. They have to pay their entry fee, or they have to ask for directions. All of this gives the children real life experience with real life consequences in a relatively safe and limited environment. Under the age of 6, most of children's interactions with broader society have been mediated by an adult. And so what we want to give the children some experience with is being able to navigate social interactions on their own. They're doing plenty of that in the classroom with their peers, but giving them these little tastes of broader social interaction really helps them build that social independence that they'll be working more solidly toward in the third plane of development. Going out is a critical part of cosmic education, of what we offer children in the second plane of development. They need to have that freedom and opportunity to go out. It is developmentally appropriate for them. It is an optimal way to support their self-construction. But it takes some careful planning on the part of the adults and the children. So we will explore the details and the considerations we have to take as we plan and implement a strong going out program in our schools.